Welcome everybody to Week 12 of the N.Idaho Fantasy Football League News, your online source for all your Fantasy Football League news. And it's a little different. You look around, who's the guest? Well, this week's guest was supposed to be Sonny, but as Sonny has shown before, he seems to be a phantom, a ghost, not present for the show. So this week what I decided to do, since I know you guys all were looking forward to Sonny's input and knowledge on how to set your lineups, what was Sonny's successes, what are some of Sonny's failures, why does Sonny eat so much rice? All those questions that we were going to address to Sonny will not be happening this week. So what I'm going to do instead is we're going to go down and look at every team very quickly, a team look at where you stand, how last week's matchups, which there were some great matchups last week, affected the playoff race, who's still alive for an automatic playoff contention still, who's looking for the lottery, who's trying to get in through the lottery, and who's just trying to make it in the consolation bracket. We'll look at last week's matchups, last week's final scores. We'll look at what's going on this week, who needs to win, who needs help, the whole 9 yards. So let's get right to it. We're going to start at the top of the division. We're going to start in the Hunt division first, and like I said, we're going to break down each team. So sit back, look forward to your team coming on. Fast forward to your team if you need to. We're going to start with Dr. Mo, who's now 16-4. Jason Moshan had a tough week last week. He actually lost 2 games. He had a doubleheader matchup against second place Norm Buds and first place Smear the Queer in the other division. A couple wins by Jason Moshan could have clinched the division. Didn't happen. He lost to the Norm Buds 115-112 and 116-112. A mistake by Jason, maybe, looking back, is he started Selvin Young instead of Maurice Morris. If he would have started Maurice Morris, 2 more wins, he'd be looking at a league championship or a division championship and a playoff spot clinched. Since he did not do that, neither happened. He's on a 2-game losing streak, a 10-game losing streak snapped, 16-4 right now. He is, this week, Dr. Mo has got, quickly looking at the notes here, Wang and Tang, who's right now currently last place at 6-14, and can't find, and the A-Dogs. 2 teams that are below 500. 1 win by Jason. He's in the playoffs. He secures at least a spot. A big loss to the Norm Buds last week, though. Jason now, if he ends up tied with the Norm Buds, and he's only 1 back in the loss column, he's got 4 losses. Norman's got 5. Norman owns the tiebreaker. Jason has lost 2 games to Norman this year. Also, kind of another funny fact, playing the A-Dogs this week, and right now he is losing 25-0 to the A-Dogs, even though Jason's had nobody go yet. These are Thursday scores. These are from Thursday's games. Sunday's games obviously haven't been played yet. So, he lost to the A-Dogs earlier this year as well. So, Aaron could also 2-0 there. So, that's where Jason stands. 1 win, he's in the playoffs, still looking for a playoff title. Norm Buds, 2 big wins last week, 14-5. Look at these scores. 115-98 over the Privateers, and the previously mentioned win over Dr. Mo, 115-112. Norman sits at 14-5, 2 big wins to clinching a playoff spot, and now he's right back in the thick of things for a division title, which is $50, guys. Jason, Norm, $50. $50, that's big money. So Norman plays this week. He's got the last place Spades, 2-17 coming in. Norman with his Dallas defense, Marion Barber, and Tony Romo on Thanksgiving Day leads 62-0 on that. The Spades haven't had anybody go yet. And Norman's also playing the Pussycats right now, 62-36. Jens had Peyton Manning go. That's where Norm stands in those 2 games. Moving on quickly to the Brew Crew. Les had a tough split last week. He beat the Man Whores 72-106, easy win there. He won $5 extra off Dane on another bet, which I think Dane mooched at once again at the Turkey Bowl. I don't think there was any money exchanged there. A tough loss for the Beast, though. He lost 113-106 when Lee Evans failed to produce for the Buffalo Bills in that Sunday night romp against the Patriots. Came up short. I could make a short joke about Les right now, but we're not going to do that. That's the 2nd loss to the JH Express. That keeps the JH Express in playoff contention. Quickly, what's going on with the Brew Crew this week? Brew Crew. They got the Blimpy Bears. They're leading 33-15 right now behind, Steve's got Donald Driver going there. The Brew Crew, like I said, 12-7, that's a battle of the Boise teams right there. The Brew Crew also leads Smear the Queer. This is going to be a tough one for him. 33-22. James has not had Tom Brady go. All those points are off Ryan Grant. So the Beast leads 33-22. A subpar day for Terrell Owens. He did score a touchdown, but not mega points like he had the week before. He had 40-something to make that game close against JH Express. Let's get to the JH Express. The Commissioner's team, the defending champion, 12-8. Winners of 9 out of the last 10 games and right on the Beast's butt. beat the Beast, like I said, 113 to 106. Also beat in the Battle of the Hunts. Not really much of a battle. 113-79 over the Spades. 2 more wins there. The JH Express has got CK1 in town. Sonny, whose team's been up and mainly down. He's right now losing 19 to 14, and over also playing the Bitch Magnets. Eric Moshan's team, who was a contender, has really fallen off. We'll get into a little bit of Eric's quarterback choice last week. Don't know what was going on there. Maybe Eric wasn't doing his research, but right now led behind Kevin Jones. Had a great Thanksgiving Day for Eric. 17 points there. The JH Express is led mainly by Mason Crosby's field goal kicking, 13 points total. 17 to 14, Bitch Magnets lead early in that one. JH Express 12-8, only 1 game back in the loss column of the Beast, 1/2 game total, and Johnny holds the tiebreaker over Les. It's got to hurt. A-Dogs broke a 7-game losing streak. They keep mathematically alive for an automatic playoff berth. They're 8-11. They won 2 games last week. Aaron Lennon came right out and looking over the stats here. I know there was a close game. There was a close game against the Rocks. Aaron Lennon had a great night from Vince Young, who scored him 32 points. There's a couple late interceptions that almost cost him the game, but he pulled it out 87-85 over the Rocks. That was a damaging loss for Mark. Big one for the A-Dogs to get them on top of a lot of people in their division. They're really stacked up near the end. Also another win by the A-Dogs, 87-44 over Gen. So 2 wins there. Who's the A-Dogs play this week? They got the Busty Lusties, 34-25 right now. The A-Dogs are losing in that one. Though Greg Jennings had a great game for the Packers and Brett Favre there. And then we mentioned it before. The A-Dogs are playing Dr. Mo. They're one of only 3 teams to beat Dr. Mo this year. James Chapman last week, Norman twice, and Aaron Lennon. Aaron Lennon was actually the first team, I think, to beat Jason Moshan, if I'm correct. Jason will correct me if that's wrong. A-Dogs look to keep alive. They're mathematically alive, still in this playoff race. Moving on. CK1 also still mathematically alive after splitting their 7-12. Sonny won last week 64-41 over the Bitch Magnet, but he turned around and he lost to the Blimpie Bears 82-64. Big win by the Blimpie Bears. We'll get into that in just a minute. Sonny, like I said, is mathematically alive still for a playoff spot, though it's very remote. This week, Sonny's got the Rocks. He's winning 19-5, and we mentioned the JH Express. He's down 19-14. Any loss or Brew Crew win knocks CK1 out of any kind of automatic playoff berth. The following teams in the Hunt Division are out of the playoffs automatic berth race. They're still fighting for lottery position and trying to stay out of that 9th place hole. Blimpie Bears. Given up for dead. Steve was on here last week with the Bear. We should have had the Bear back for crying out loud at least. But 2 big wins for Steve. He moves up from 5-13 to 7-13. He beat CK1, who we just talked about, and he also beat Wang and Tang 82-80. Barely getting by Wang and Tang. That was a big matchup because that knocked Wang and Tang into the 9th place position and moved Steve up to 7th place. Steve this week, who does he got? He's got injured reserves, who he's losing to 26-15. Tough matchup against Mikey in that other division. By the way, this is the last week of inter-division play. This is one more week of doubleheader weeks next week. I'll get into that a little bit. The Brew Crew, the Battle Boise, like I said, he's also losing 33-15 there. Steve needs to continue winning to stay out of that 9th place hole. Also, tied with him at 7-13 are the Pussycats. 2 more tough losses, 5 losses total in a row for Jen. It has not been smooth sailing for the Pussycats. Demolished by the A-Dogs, like I said earlier, 87-44. She also lost to the Busty Lusties in the Battle of the Women, the cat fight. 77-44, Chrissy takes her down. We're wondering who's going to win that. It's Chrissy. So 2 losses for the Pussycats this week. With behind Peyton Manning, she's already got... Pussycats already have some points on the board somewhere. No points. Oh, here we go. They're up 36-0 with Peyton Manning on the Man-Horse. The Man-Horse have nobody going yet, so that's early. Peyton Manning scored her 29 points on Thanksgiving after a slow start, and she's playing the Norm Buds behind all those Dallas players. Norman's got a 62-36 advantage there. Jen could be in some trouble. Wang and Tang, 6-14, 2 very tough losses last week. The Blimpie Bears at 2-point loss, and then he got annihilated 114-80 to the injured reserves. This dropped Wang and Tang to 6-14. There's no automatic playoff berth, but now he's got to start thinking about consolation bracket. He wants to at least get into that. The consolation bracket right now is up to about $23 to win for the winner, so it's worth playing for. Who's Wang and Tang have this week going? Wang and Tang. 58-18. He's losing to the Privateers right now, and Wang and Tang also is having some trouble. Oh, Dr. Mo. 18-0, he's up on Dr. Mo. Dr. Mo has had nobody going, but this could be another very tough week for Wang and Tang. Let's get over to the Doucet division. Doucet division has Smear the Queers leading the way. James Chapman